Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Random Chatter. This is our review show. We are doing, I say, a lot of good stuff came out this week. So we got some movies, some TV shows released on different streaming services, and we're here to break that all down for you. So with me tonight, I am your host, Lou, and with me tonight we have Tim and Eric. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Lou. How about you? Did you dig yourself out from the big? What did they call it?
They were calling it Snowmageddon,
Snowpocalypse.
Yeah, no, we've used them all in the past.
I was going to say those are so recycled. Those are like so 90s.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like a foot and a half of snow. That's not like a snowpocalypse or a Snowmageddon.
Well, I mean,
it's a snowstorm.
Around here, when we get 6-8 inches of snow as a big storm. A foot plus, 12 to 20 inches is a big storm for us.
My son, who lives about, 45 minutes east of you, Lou?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was in the blizzard.
Yeah, they got 28 inches.
Area. Oh, nice.
I got...
That's impressive.
An eighth of an inch? A quarter of an inch?
So you had the powdered sugar spilled on the ground?
We got ice, so, to make up for it.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was out where your son is, they were the only county in Connecticut that had the blizzard warning. And there are specific criteria for blizzard visibility for so many hours.
Not if you're in the south. Four flakes and it's a blizzard. True. We had a blizzard here 3 years ago. People got annoyed when I rolled my eyes at them. Go figure.
The National Weather Service does have a very specific definition.
I was in North Dakota. There were times I would hold my hand out and I had a hard time seeing my hand. Yeah. Those are blizzards.
Well, I believe it.
Well, I sent Tim the picture earlier yesterday, or my wife did actually. Our police department in town got behind the whole, thing of staying off the roads and make sure you're safe. Everything. It says, don't leave the house as you have one of these. And they showed AT-ATs crossing the highway.
Nice.
I was like, oh, nice.
Very cool.
But we're not here to talk about Star Wars stuff or snow. We're here to talk about movies and TV shows and all that kind of good stuff. So there was some big releases this past week. Some on Netflix, some on Hulu, I think, some on Apple TV Plus, possibly. So the big one we're going to start with is one I didn't see that I want to see, and I'm hoping it's really good. So you guys are going to tell me about the 355.
Tim, did you see the 355?
Okay. I have not.
Oh, you have not. Just there.
I'm very excited to see it.
Me too.
And I hope that after your words here, Eric, I remain very excited to see it.
So same with me.
What do you got for us?
And I think directed by Simon Kinberg. I don't know if you know that name. Star Wars fans probably know Simon Kinberg. Science fiction fans know Simon Kinberg. So some good pedigree there. Lupita Nyong'o, Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Sebastian Stan. Really good cast.
Good names.
Yeah. So very exciting. It's currently
which is why I've been so excited about this.
And it's currently in theaters and pay-per-view. It is horrible.
Oh, pay-per-view also.
It is horrible.
Oh,
are you serious?
You know how I say that I like movies where if you go and you watch it a second time, it's like a different movie. And so that makes me like the movie more, right? Like Sixth Sense, for example. You see it a second time and you have a different appreciation for it. So the good news is Gunpowder Milkshake. If I go watch that now.
Oh no.
Yeah, see, Lou knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, gosh.
It was not as bad as Gunpowder Milkshake. It was not as good as any of the other similar movies that we saw over the past year, like The Protege or what was the one that was the woman's name? Lucy, not Lucy. That was whatever it was. It was. So the acting was good. I mean, because you've got good actors. Right? I mean, Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, you can give them crappy dialogue and they're still going to deliver it with skill. So Sebastian Stan was also really good. Penelope Cruz did as good as she could with her character. And the choreography, I could probably comment better on the choreography if I had any Dramamine or something.
Oh, it's one of those where you just get seasick watching.
I don't get motion sickness very easily. There are very few VR games that give me motion sickness. I can get out on the water in a boat. I don't get motion sickness. And I almost never get, I can say I've never really gotten motion sickness from a movie before. I watched it this afternoon, maybe 2 p.m. It is currently almost 10 p.m. at night. I'm literally, I'm not kidding. I'm still literally suffering from a little bit of motion sickness.
Oh,
really?
I hate that.
Oh, God.
It's a terrible feeling.
With the exception of some shots near the end, it was as if the entire movie was filmed using a handheld camera, not with any sort of gyroscopic stabilization, but just like shaky cam. You know, we used to talk about the early Jason Bourne movies and like the shaky cam in the action sequences.
Right.
Well, this is shaky cam in dialogue. They're sitting around a table in a bar and it's shaky cam.
Oh, God.
Dude, I'm literally still motion sick. And that's not what made the movie bad. Okay? Because I'm like, hey, if I got to be sick through this, I'll be sick through it, but at least like I'm going to get something out of the movie. No. It was just really badly written. There were some big tactical plot holes for some of the action scenes, and I try to be forgiving with that kind of stuff because I know action scenes are, you know, you got to let it go. But like there's one point where somebody who has worked with a character before, like has had an entire career with a character before, has captured this character and locks them in a room and knows that this character is like a total badass. Locks the character in this room with another guard and says, keep her here. Oh, and watch her because she's really good at what she does. And then leaves. So it's not like, oh, the physics are weird and a bomb wouldn't actually explode that way. No, it's like common sense things. Like anybody would have put 3 or 4 guards in there with this person. And that's if they didn't know that she was one of the world's best, you know, special operatives or whatever. There were just so many problems with the writing from the get-go. And there were some good scenes. I'm glad I watched this at home and did not go see it actually in the theaters. It was bad. And I'd seen some bad reviews going into it. And I thought, no, I think people are just being too hard on it because we had some other similar movies come out last year. No, the reviews may have been generous.
Well, that's too bad. I guess I can scratch that off my list.
Yeah, I would not go out of your way for it. I would definitely wait for streaming. I would not recommend people pay the money for pay-per-view for it, and definitely don't go see it in the theaters. It's not worth your health, whether it's COVID
really,
or
really
motion
do love
sickness.
that cast.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica Chastain over the last few years has turned out to be one of my absolute favorite actresses. I've loved everything that she has been in.
And Lupita Nyong'o was brilliant in this, as
letdown.
Always.
Yeah.
But the movie was not good. Yeah, it was a big disappointment. Okay. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news, everybody, but you know, that's what we do here. We tell you about the good, but we have to tell you about the bad too. And my recommendation personally would be to not see this. Now, Tim, you and I had different feelings on the sequel to The Hitman's Bodyguard. We've had differences of opinions on something. Some people might really like this movie. So, you know,
True. Yeah, maybe I will
take my review with a grain of salt, but I would definitely recommend wait for it to hit a streaming service you already subscribe to. At least do that, because I don't think it's worth the risk otherwise. It was poorly filmed.
So it's not streaming anywhere right now?
It's not streaming anywhere right now. It's on video on demand, and it's in the theaters.
I thought it was on Hulu or something. Okay.
It looked like it was on Amazon Prime, but it's not. It's the $19.99. It was filmed so badly. Like, again, I've never gotten this motion sick from watching a movie before. It's crazy. I had to keep looking away from the screen. It was rough.
Okay. That's horrible.
Sorry.
Well, let's move on to something better. Now, I'm assuming Eric's going to say better about this too, because I really enjoyed this. New series on, is it Netflix or Apple TV Plus?
Netflix.
This is Apple TV Plus, I think, right?
Which way are we? If we're going in order of the show notes, it's Netflix.
Okay, then we're.
Is it the one with the long title or the short title?
The
long title is Netflix, short title is Apple TV.
One of the longest titles ever. Yeah. So the woman in the house across the street from the Girl in the Window.
Just flows right off the tongue.
It does. And I saw the trailer for this a while ago, and I was like, ooh, I want to really watch that. And I forgot about it. And then you mentioned it the other night. I was like, oh, that's on. Great. I can't wait to see it. I watched the first episode and a half or so this morning. Yeah. Loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So this is a drama mystery, I guess, romance. The
trailer made it look like it might be a bit comedic too, kind of like a dark comedy or satire. And then the title is clearly satirizing other similar things. But it's not really a comedy.
Which is the impression I got.
There's no comedy.
No, not really.
Right, yeah.
All right.
I was surprised by that, but it's very well done.
Is it like Scream? Because like Scream is a unique movie unto itself, and it is a good movie, and it's not necessarily comedy, but it is a satire of slasher movie.
This is not. This is like every other person sitting in the window watching a murder and trying to figure it out movie, except like it's different enough to be unique, but it's not trying to be a satire of those types of movies. It is not trying to provide any commentary on those types of movies.
No. Okay.
No.
There's no.
But it does have.
There are some like funny lines in it.
There's some lighthearted points to it, like her with the wine.
Yeah.
I thought that was a stereo. So she pours a glass of wine in a fairly large red glass or red wine glass, and she fills it to the brim. Like
has to lean over.
It's the entire glass, and she's trying to suck off the top. I was like, it's hysterical. That was the kind. That's the kind of.
But
comedy
plays it deadpan. Like there's nothing about. There's no belly laughs in this at all. Like there's to me.
No.
Like I didn't even really pick up on that until, but wait, that was wine, right? You don't do that with wine. Like it was one of those things I didn't even catch it at first because it's so subtle. The humor in it is so subtle. If you blink, you're gonna miss it. And there's not a lot of it. So it's very much not what the trailer led me to believe. But like you said, Lou, it's a really good series. I think there are 8 episodes. Written. I'm starting episode 6.
Okay. No, I'm only on, I think I'm most of the way through episode 2.
Okay. It does continue to get better as the plot thickens.
Oh, great. It's well written. The characters are good. The acting is good. I mean, it's got Kristen Bell. She's the only one I recognized.
I didn't recognize anybody else, but the other acting is good.
Okay. Oh, very good. Yeah, everything believable. So, I am looking forward to finishing this out because it's that good. I'll definitely keep up with this one. I agree.
I would highly recommend this one. And it's in not being a comedy. So I guess as I was looking at the trailer, I'm like, oh, it's another one of these. But then I'm like, oh, but it's okay because it's kind of a comedy and it's not taking itself seriously. And then after the pilot, I'm like, no, it's totally taking itself seriously. Now I'm back to, do we need another one of these? But it's good. And so, yes, we do.
Okay.
It's good. And I like Kristen Bell. I mean, she's a good actress.
And
I like
she
her.
Nails this role.
She's comedic stuff she has, but she's really good in the role. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And I'm big on murder mysteries and stuff.
I think that you and Robin will both really like this one, Tim. It's it's well executed. It's well written. Definitely a good recommendation.
Yeah. Cool. In fact, I'm probably have to restart this with my wife because I think she'll like it too. So
probably. Yeah.
Good.
Very good.
See, another new one we have. This one is on Apple TV Plus. This is the Afterparty.
Yes.
Now, who's in this?
So Ben Schwartz. Tim, did you ever watch the Middleditch and Schwartz improv?
A little bit.
3-episode thing they did on Netflix. Okay. And then he's been in Parks and Rec. He's been in I think he was in Space Force, the one with Steve Carell on Netflix. He's been in a lot of comedy stuff. So it's got him. Tia Sarkar. Tia Sarkar plays Jennifer number 1.
That's right.
Not to be confused with Jennifer number 2.
The Jennifers, yeah.
And by the way, she can dance pretty well. Especially pregnant. That was quite a surprise. Well, her character's pregnant. I don't know that Tia is pregnant.
I know. I saw a preview. I'm like, wait, is she really? No. Okay.
Yeah, how far did you get into the?
I finished 2 episodes.
Okay. So they're doing it weekly, but they dropped 3 episodes right out of the gate. So I've seen all 3 of those. And they're doing each episode. Well, we should tell them what it's actually about, like what the premise is.
Again, another kind of murder mystery. First episode, we have a character,
Dave Franco,
not main character, but
James
true.
Franco's little brother, Dave Franco.
Little brother, yep. And I was trying to. He looks like somebody else too. I'm like, who is that? And then I read.
He's been in a ton of things too. So
he gets killed. Dies a horrible death falling from his balcony of his beach house.
Super rich music megastar, like mansion, flies into his high school reunion on a helicopter that lands in the football field, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a 15-year reunion, and so this is all the people that are kind of getting together. And Afterparty at his house after the reunion, and he gets killed, and police show up.
Tiffany Haddish.
So her character is great because
I like Tiffany.
She's on the phone when we first meet her, and she's talking to her lieutenant or captain or whatever, and they're like, no, you're not running this show because we have somebody coming in from LA who is a big shot, and they're going to run this investigation because it's about a high profile person got killed.
Should be there by morning.
And she's like, no, I'll just go in and I'll take statements and I'll get things started. Okay, so he hangs up the phone with her, and she immediately walks in. She goes, okay, I'm running the show here, and
the chief wants this solved by morning. Yeah.
So it should be good with her doing that, and I mean she's a good comedian anyways. But just little things in this episode, in this series so far have been really good. Like, and some of it was in the trailer too. Like she's interviewing one of the people, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm just gonna sit back and some popcorn and listen to you tell the story." And she reaches in her bag and pulls out a little bag of popcorn. And the guy's like, "Oh, you really had popcorn? Oh, okay."
Yeah.
That's so little thing that made this funny,
that.
but it seems like it's got enough of a hook to it to make me want to learn about the characters and kind of see what's going on. That I'm in. I mean, I'm fully on board with this show, even though it's not the kind of thing I would normally watch.
Yeah,
it seems like every episode will be a little bit different because we're getting different characters in the interview process are going to have a different way the show is being portrayed.
Which I think it's brilliant how they're handling that, because each episode she interviews a different character, and that character tells the story of the night in their own way. But then there's also still the actual live, like it's all like live. They flash back to the high school reunion and events and stuff like that. But it's as they're going through the interview, and then there are still characters are still doing things in the present as well too. But so the first interviewer, first interviewee, is kind of trying to reconnect with his high school sweetheart. So there's like just a little tiny twinge of a rom-com in there. So when Robin watches it, tell her to just get through the first episode and it'll get better. Because the second one,
totally relax. It's not.
It's not a rom-com series, and even that episode is only very lightly rom-com. The second episode is about a different character, and it's much more of like a kind of a butch macho, gonna go in there and kick ass, kind of like almost action-y sort of episode. The one after that focuses on Ben Schwartz's character, and it's a musical, so it's kind of like a Glee sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I don't know what the next one's going to be, but so they're kind of genre bending with each episode, and the actual story is kind of cool how it's playing out, and the comedy works, the chemistry between the characters works. I already have kind of an idea of who I think the killer might be, but then it's one of those things where, well, if I think the killer might be that character, then they're probably wanting me to think that. So maybe it's not.
Yeah, they're trying to misdirect.
But they're also not heavy-handed about the one that I think it is. So we'll see. But it's
you know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like a modern take on Clue.
Yeah, absolutely.
It had a real strong Clue vibe to it when I'm watching it. So yeah,
just because each of the characters are like a caricature of a character. And have their own kind of thing going on. Yeah.
Big fan of Clue.
So wait. So having said that, don't like it's not Clue. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But Clue vibe. Clue That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
But it's good. So again, it's dropping every week. The first 3 episodes are out right now. Apple TV Plus. I would definitely recommend it. Very good.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So next up we have Resident Alien is back.
Still trying to catch
season 2. It's good.
Yeah.
It's now, Tim, are you watching now or are you?
Okay. Yes. Oh yeah.
So yeah, this picks up right where season 1 leaves off, and it's full on. I'm ready.
Was there a cliffhanger in season 1?
Immediately where season 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
And is the season 2 finale fulfilling in the resolution of the cliffhanger? Or does it drag out longer than that? Like, is it something that takes longer to?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a cliffhanger. I mean, it ends. Season 1 ends where you know you're getting season 2, but you don't know how they're going to get there. It's not like there's oh my God, who did this? It's what's going on.
Oh yeah, it's very straightforward.
And so there's no real resolution to get to it. But by the end of the first episode, you kind of know what had happened, kind of, so you feel good about it. And they
and it jumps right back in with the characters. I mean, it's like it, there never was this, between season pause. I mean, as the viewer, just you're right back in the lives of those characters. You're having a good time with them. It's great.
It's like the next day. In real
it truly
time.
is. It truly is actually the next day, and it's just it's a lot of fun.
One thing they brought back, which I thought was excellent, was when he first starts out in season 1, he learns English by watching Law and Order reruns. Right. And they bring back a Law and Order tie-in, which I thought was brilliant. Nice. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's going to watch it. So it's a lot of fun though, but it's good to see that back.
And the octopus.
Oh yeah, the octopus is back too. Yep.
Because the octopus is in season 1
right,
also.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, did I see the octopus?
Was the octopus's name Murray? Is that his name?
My dog's name is Murray.
I think it is. So,
I don't remember.
No, I think it's something else. Yeah. No, the octopus is good. Okay, let's see. Moving on here. Snowpiercer, season 3.
Yes. Have you seen it?
How far? I've seen half of the first episode.
Okay. Your thoughts so far?
I don't think that the newer stuff, and this includes last season where we had the other train come in to play, has been as strong as it was before the other train came in. So that's kind of my.
Yeah, I like some elements of it. I was not a big fan of how they resolved. Or how they left things in the finale, like kind of the build up to the finale and where the pieces fell. This episode, I think I got too easily distracted, or I was kind of lost with what was going on or something. I don't know. I think I need to rewatch the finale and then rewatch this episode again. Cause it kind of, I hate to say it kind of bored me.
I feel like I do too, because I got halfway through it and I got caught up with something else. I haven't gone back to it yet, and I've seen other stuff since then. So it's not like
it's not like you were itching.
Oh my God, I got to finish the episode.
Yeah,
right.
Which says something.
So I think I need a primer for last season to catch up to see this season in there, because I wasn't all that enamored with the end of last season, anyways. But
they've made some progress, but I think what kind of confused me a little bit about this was they introduced more questions than they did answers. And I kind of felt like they just did that already. And it's like, hey, we were already chewing on some questions right now. Let's not like have the plate filling to overflowing here. We already got questions. Let's deal with some of those, and then we'll go on to new questions.
Right. I mean, they're still dealing with the whole to train things and who's running things and who's in control, and also what's going on with the environment outside the train. And, there's so much stuff going on. And is this the last season for this? Have they announced
I don't think they've announced an end yet. And the ratings have been good. So unless the season tanks, I would expect a season 4.
Okay.
Yeah, the ratings have been good. And I still think it's a good show. I think maybe either this episode wasn't that strong, or maybe it's a me problem. I think I need to rewatch the finale.
Yeah, no, I think I'm in the same boat. I think the distraction thing was, I'm not fully invested yet.
It was an easily distractible. No, because it doesn't distract. It's an episode in which it's easy to become distracted. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Munich on the Edge of War. This is a Netflix show. Is it a movie or a show?
This is a movie. This is a movie. This released late last year.
Really? Because I just saw a trailer pop up in my Netflix.
I'm sorry.
Today.
I'm sorry. This month it released. The only like real notable actor in it is Jeremy Irons. Mm-hmm. This is set in primarily in 1938. And as you can guess from the title, much of it is set in Munich. They kind of bounce between London and Munich. And it's basically two friends who back in the early 30s went to Oxford together. One of them was German, one of them is British. And now on the basically on the brink of World War II, the one who's German happens to work for the Chancellery, Hitler, and the other who is English happens to work for the Prime Minister. It's really fascinating. I don't think it's based on a true story, but basically they were able to take something that was a true story and put some characters within the situation. And it was basically how a lot of people who worked for Hitler, they saw the direction things were going in. They wanted to avoid war. They realized the guy was a nut. And so they needed to work behind the scenes to particularly convince the Brits that they shouldn't be agreeing to let Hitler do certain things, which was a lot of what Chamberlain, who's played by Jeremy Irons, he was the prime minister immediately preceding Churchill, basically to discourage him from kind of agreeing, because early on they just let Hitler get away with this, that, and the other thing, and then eventually it got out of hand. So just done extraordinarily well. Really great movie, very enjoyable. If you like historical stuff, I definitely recommend it.
Okay, cool. Sounds like something I want to watch then. So here's something I know nothing about because I've never had an Xbox.
You've never had an Xbox?
No. I know I've been a PlayStation guy, so I was going to say.
How can you know that the PlayStation is the right choice for you if you haven't tried both?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. All right.
So we're talking about the TV series for Halo.
See, I'm an Xbox guy. And both of you guys have PlayStations.
Awesome.
I need to loan you an Xbox for a while so that I can change you into an Xbox person. Then we can gang up on Tim, and then we can use controllers where when you push up, it moves up instead of pushing sideways with your thumb to move up.
Nope. So keep in mind, I do not have a PlayStation.
To get one.
I've been wanting to get one. And I gave that up now that I have the Oculus because I don't need anything else. But no, I used to be an Xbox person.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Halo is one of the best.
Which brings us to the next item on our list.
That's what we're bringing up here. Yeah. So the Halo TV series, the trailer has been out.
Well, there was a teaser that came out for a while, and then in the last day or two, it might have been today, it might have been yesterday.
Never saw the teaser.
David posted this to our Discord server earlier this afternoon, so thank you to David for posting it. And it is a full-blown actual trailer, not just a teaser.
Mm-hmm. Now, I can say that it looks good from a standpoint of I've never played the game. So you guys playing the games, how is this trailer? Are you guys excited? Does it match up to what you expect you wanted to see?
Video game movies and TV series typically suck. And it's typically because movies and video games, movies and TV shows, and then separately video games, have different types of storytelling. Rarely you can get something where a video game tells a story in a way that would work well in a TV series or in a movie. So The Witcher is a recent example, but The Witcher was also originally a series of books and short stories. Uncharted looks like it's pretty good so far. But the two things that people have been clamoring for as far as movies go, or TV series have been Halo and Mass Effect. People have wanted Halo for a really long time. In fact, Peter Jackson was tied to it at one point. And
there was the web series they did of Halo like 7 years ago now, which was mind-blowing. It was freaking amazing. Oh, it was incredible.
Halo has a really strong story, as well as really interesting visuals, incredible world building and concepts. And I've read some of the novels, actually. There were some book series that were like prequel series and then post series, stuff like that. I've read some of them. Some of them are actually pretty good science fiction novels. So back to this trailer, I think this looks good. This looks better than I expected. I can't quite nail down the events I'm familiar with, and they didn't show anything on the actual ring that we all know from the Halo series. Unless I missed something. Tim, did you catch that? Okay. No. So was it Reach that was the headquarters planet where they did the training and stuff like that? Okay. So it seems like it's more, this is maybe covering the fall of Reach, which is a kind of a prelude into the first video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the trailer covered anyway. That's not to say the series is only going to cover that. But Tim, what did you think? Did this sell you? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. I'm so incredibly excited about this. Like you said, like this is something that has been really hotly anticipated to do something with this. That's the games have done a lot of world building. I mean, the gameplay in them is fantastic anyway. But in terms of the world building that they've done and kind of the universe that they have created, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I haven't read the books, but I have heard, like what you said, that they are really good. And there's a lot of richness for them to explore in this. They created a lot of lore, and I think this is
it's one of those things where there are like thousands of years of lore going into the series that the characters don't even really know about and kind of learn about as the series goes on. There's so much potential for storytelling, and so a lot of it's going to boil down to how well executed it is. And from what we can see so far, the visuals look good. The cinematography looks good. The acting seems okay. Mm-hmm. Some of the concepts looks like there's a little bit of a political story going on there. Is Master Chief being manipulated or not?
You know what gets me about all these kind of, we keep saying that video games don't translate well to either movies or television shows. And time and time again, we've seen where there are books that are well written, and books are stories too. I mean, so if they can write a good story, why can't it translate to a screen?
Because books are not interactive.
Bothered me.
Video games inherently have to be interactive. So the more you let things branch off,
right? But if you can do a good book for a series, or for a video game series, why can't we do a good video representation of it? I mean, it's the same thing. It shouldn't be difficult to do.
And if you're able to make a good book
time and time again, they fail
for a video game series, then to your point, yes, you should be able to make a good movie or a good TV series.
I mean, ideally, yes, and we've talked about this before. Storytelling in books very different from storytelling in a movie. A movie is basically a flash in a pan. I mean, you have to be like all relevant story. If it's action, you pretty much have to be almost all action. I mean, you have to be really, really focused. A book can meander. A book can get into the heads of the characters. Yeah. A book can do a lot of other building. I mean, if you take a book story and put it in a movie 1-to-1, you would have an 18-hour-long movie.
Right. And that's why they lend themselves better to a series than a movie.
This is a series.
Right.
This is a series, and that's a key difference, and that's important because I don't think they could effectively do this as movies, because even if they did a trilogy of movies, I don't know how easily they could lock everybody in as dedicated fans in that first movie in order for the studios to justify making the second and third and fourth and whatever. Locking it in as a series, now you can do exactly what Tim just said. And I think that's a key difference from where originally this franchise was going to have gone.
Yep. Very cool. So I'll look forward to seeing that, and
it's coming
maybe
in
I'll
March.
even try playing the game
March,
sometime.
very, very soon. Very soon.
Okay, yeah.
Don't feel like you need to play the game to catch up, though, Lou, because
No, but
No.
it's something I've always wanted to
Okay.
play, but I've just never had access to a Xbox.
Okay.
Okay. Ozark. I started watching this last
The new
night.
season.
Season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Ozark.
awesome. I mean,
Like, what is it? What else is there to
the
say? It's
writing
Ozark.
is good. Exactly. The actors do a great job. Although I feel like the son grew up a lot.
Well,
And
COVID.
I know that happens to kids.
Yeah.
I know, but it seems like he's a lot more of the story than he was last season. He's actually doing things now. He's not just the kid.
He is, and that plays out in a very interesting way, because in him kind of being independent a little bit more and going in his own direction, it kind of puts the family at risk a little bit more.
Yeah, because we need somebody else to make them, in peril.
Yes, because they're never in enough peril.
It's awesome.
So,
Yeah, I'm only 2 episodes in. How many? There's 6 episodes in the first half
think.
of the first part 1 of the season. Yeah,
it's not too many. I think I'm on episode 5 right now. So there's like 1 or 2 more to go.
Yeah, I'm just excited. It was good watching it last night. I'm glad it's back on. And if you haven't seen the series at all, start from the beginning. Start watching it now. Drop what you're doing as soon as you finish this podcast, and then you can go watch it, because it's awesome
And
television.
it's a series that just keeps getting better as it goes on. There are some slow parts, but for the most part, it's just and it's one of those things where the main characters get put in a situation and you're like, wow, I don't have any idea how they're ever going to get out of that. And then to get out of it, they have to do 2 or 3 other things. And then each of those things are like, holy crap, well, that just made things worse. They're never going to get out of that. And then they just keep digging themselves further and further into the grave until you're at the point where, like, by the second season, you're like, oh, that stuff I was worried about in the first season, that was child's play compared to this. That was like, small potatoes.
Yeah,
this is...
The stakes increase every season. Yeah.
If other shows were able to increase the stakes at the rate that this show does, we would have a whole different industry of storytelling.
Definitely.
Yes.
It's a lot of beef.
Yeah.
Like porterhouse.
It's a lot of stakes. You should watch it, Tim.
Speaking of steaks,
I'm hungry now.
BattleBots. I'm not.
You could cook steaks over top of some of the BattleBots in some of these fights.
There has been a lot of fire this season.
Yeah, this last episode not quite as much, but especially the pilot episode.
So I haven't seen the whole episode. I'm only I think 2 battles in.
Oh, Anakin dies
this
at
past
the end.
week, but
it's good.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, it just continues to be a lot of fun. This is easily one of my favorite sports. You know, I mean, and the thing is, like, everything goes into this. I mean, there's like this amazing like science and engineering that goes into it. There's an entertainment value to it. There's so much that goes into this, and you know, and then it's just, you know, hardcore robot on robot action. There's fire, and there's chunks of things flying, and parts of the battle box getting destroyed, and just like amazing stuff. And
there were a couple of moments in this last episode that were really good. And I think the final fight in this last episode was also really good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I'll probably finish it tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a great show. And, you know, I hadn't watched it until last season. You guys put me onto this and said, you got to watch it. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll when I get to it. And until I started watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. I mean, I fast forward through some of the fluff they have here and there.
I do too, sometimes.
You know, but some of it's good. Some of it's like, yeah, I could care less about this team or that team. But
you should go back and watch some of the earlier seasons.
Well, yeah, because they keep saying, "Oh, this guy hasn't been back in 3 seasons." I'm like, "Oh, I might want to go back and watch that because I like this guy." Yeah, so good stuff. And the battles are intense. I mean, and sometimes you get the it's a regular sports. You have no idea what to expect. It's like, oh, I didn't realize. Oh my God, I didn't think that was going to happen. It's like it's unexpected. It's entertaining, and it's just raw carnage. So,
and there's so much chance to it too, because I mean, sometimes malfunctions just happen. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the actual battle. That, oh crap, a thing suddenly doesn't work on a robot, and it's like, oh, well, it's like no, I mean, it's like, what are they going to do?
Like I said, I'm only through the first battle, and the battle looked like it was going one way, and then the main weapon on one of the bots just decided to stop. It just started smoking, so they shut it down. And they're like, you know what, we can win this without having to damage our bot anymore. So they did. I'm like, okay, smart move. That was good play. It was good good planning, at least from their side of things, and finish out the battle. So things happen that you don't expect, and they don't expect, obviously. So it's good to watch. Definitely a fun show. Archive 81. I think, Eric, you mentioned this a week or two ago.
Yeah, this is just kind of like me keeping up, catching up at this point in the episode. But I've continue to watch it, and again, not really my type of thing, the whole kind of supernatural, spooky, I guess murder mystery-ish, like maybe murder, still kind of learning what's going on. But it's kind of in the same tone of things like The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window, The Afterparty, and other, shorter titles than that first one. It's one of those things where you're watching it and you learn about what the scenario actually is the further you get into the show. And I'm getting far enough into it now that things are really starting to, I don't want to say make sense, but they're starting to be revealed more. And so I just wanted to follow up again on it and say, it's holding up pretty well. It's still in the top 5 out of Netflix's top 10, I think. And that's even with some of the recent releases come out. It's solid. So still almost finished with it. I think I've got, again, maybe an episode or 2 left.
Okay. Awesome. So the most recent season, I think, is season 3 of Lost in Space. I am on episode 2, maybe 3 of that.
And Tim, you finished it, right?
I think you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And Lou, are you agreeing with what Tim said, that this 3rd season so far is really good?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's starting out in a different place than I thought we'd be. But I mean, season 2 put us in a weird spot anyway. So I think they're trying to get out of where they left us and into good stuff. Yeah. But it's good stuff.
And it keeps getting better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm not like I gotta keep watching the next episode, but it keeps me entertained. It keeps me plugged into it. Unlike Snowpiercer, where I kind of paused it away and didn't come back.
I love Snowpiercer, but now I feel like I have to do homework.
So I'm definitely on board with season 3 of Lost in Space. So. Good. Now, Tim, you're still doing your rewatch of Battlestar Galactica, right?
Yeah. I'm into season 3 now, and it's wild. Like the season 2, you're moving toward the end. It's like, oh, hey, life is good. Things are like getting great here, and then it just all explodes and goes to crap. And So I'm enjoying season 3. The beginning of season 3 is basically back to survival mode that we saw at the beginning of season 1. It's pretty cool, and it's a very different environment. Right. So I'm enjoying it. Yep. Really cool dynamic.
So as I said before, I'm rewatching with you, although I'm a little ahead of you now. I got into season 3, and I like season 3 so much I kind of powered right through season 3.
Season 3 was good.
Yeah. So I powered through season 3. I kept going. I'm into season 4 now, and season 4 is the final season, and I think season 4 was split into two sections, wasn't it? Wasn't it like part 1 and part 2?
Season 2 was in 2 sections, and I don't remember on season 4. It may have been.
Maybe not that I'm done. Maybe I think it's season 2, but I'm watching it, and I'm watching it with a new perspective, because I know there's been controversy over the ending of the series and where it left off and how it ended. Yeah. And I'm actually, knowing how it goes, I'm actually in a good place right now watching it, feeling good about it. So I mean, I'm enjoying season 4 right now.
Because I'm still one of those people who, I mean, hate is definitely way too strong a word. I didn't hate the finale, but I walked away from the finale kind of feeling like that didn't feel right. But I love the series, and all the way up to the penultimate episode was great. And then the finale happened, and I'm like, oh, that's different.
Yeah. But
I may have to rewatch. I've been much more casually rewatching it than you guys are. So, and then the new BSG. Any word on when we're expecting that?
I haven't heard anything new.
Yeah, there's definitely something.
I know there's something coming. Yeah, but I haven't heard anything more about it.
All right.
Okay, and finally, somebody put Rome in here. Who was that?
Yeah, have you guys ever watched a series, HBO series, 2005?
I loved it.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple times through. Really extraordinarily well done. And this afternoon, I was just kind of in the mood for something familiar that I haven't watched in a long time. And I wanted like decapitations and stuff. So I went over to HBO Max and put Rome on, got a few episodes in. And it's kind of all coming back to me, and it's a time period that I really enjoy. I have read a lot of books on the Roman Empire and all that stuff, and
it's a good series. It's well done.
It really is. It's extraordinarily well done. Their character development is fantastic.
I'm not sure how accurate it is from a standpoint of some of the political things going on, but it feels accurate. It feels like they're not taking liberties. It feels like they tried to stay true to what would have happened in that time frame.
It is, in terms of the major events, it's reasonably accurate. There's some things that they kind of either combine or shortcut or cut out, but a lot of the benchmarks are there, particularly between Caesar and Pompey and all that, and all the things that they do. It's a lot of fun, and it's funny that. At least the thing that had gone around about it was that the cost of production was too high. So after they ended it at the end of season 2, and then you look at Game of Thrones, which came out really just a few years later, and you're like, wow, like the production quality on Rome is like really, really phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, so pretty much the production quality, aside from there's no dragons or anything in Rome, but so like you look at the production quality on Game of Thrones and you're like, really? You guys thought that was expensive? Right. Holy crap.
How is that?
I mean, maybe the viewership wasn't up there to support it or something like that.
I mean, Rome was nowhere near
it's popular.
Yeah, it didn't have the following. And it never really got talked about that much, to tell you the truth. I mean, I didn't realize it was canceled for money. I thought it was canceled for poor ratings.
Well, I mean, probably.
Yeah, I think it's primarily canceled for.
Well, ratings equates to money.
There's probably some correlation,
especially back then, because this was before streaming. So it was, are we bringing in new subscribers or not? And that was back in the day when their series. Like, I'd have to look at the time frame for some of these series, but you had Sex and the City, Sopranos, and then this, and this was not as popular as either of those two. Kind of a different audience.
Right.
And it wasn't hyped a lot. It wasn't heavily promoted. And the promotional material that did come out was very much, I don't want to say boring, but it wasn't the type of thing that grabs the average viewer. Now, listen, I am not into historical stuff. You guys all know that. Our longtime listeners know that I'm more sci-fi, modern stuff, thrillers, mysteries, not so much historical stuff. I love this series. I own the box sets on DVD too. And one thing I want to say, if you guys can ever find the box sets at a reasonable price and you like this series or think you might like it, there's a feature on the DVDs that's like a fact track, and you can watch it and like subtitles will pop up at the bottom that will tell you about real world events that happened at different times, or they'll talk about some of the tools or clothing or religious deities or things like that are in the scene. It's almost like what Amazon Prime does with their X-ray feature that very few people even know about, let alone use.
Yeah. I think I might have because I do own the DVD set, and I think I may remember having used that when I watched it on DVD before.
Like, especially on a rewatch, it makes a rewatch a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, sure.
I never realized that. That's kind of neat.
And I took the opportunity to, again, it's been a few years since I saw it, went onto IMDb and started looking at some things that the actors have done since then. You have a good handful of actors that have done Star Wars work, Marvel work, that kind of stuff. One of the actresses in this, when she was in this, obviously she was much younger. She was like late teenager. She is the voice of Friday in Marvel, with Tony Stark's replacement AI for Jarvis.
Okay.
So yeah, it just like really cool. Kind of, where are they now kind of things with a lot of the talent that was on there. So just, really well done series. Very cool. Definitely not family friendly. A lot of violence.
Ancient Rome was not very family friendly. So
yeah, exactly. Right.
Really close to pornography level sex.
Yeah. It was one of the few shows that had, full frontal male nudity.
I forgot about that.
In TV at the time. Yeah. First time I watched, I was like, he's getting out of this. Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But it didn't feel gratuitous. It was like, okay, this is what it was like. This is what it, Yep. It fit the context. The era.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, guys, we got to wrap up this episode because I do have to get to my orgy. So
wow, that was out of nowhere.
Well, we are done with the episode. Yeah, I'm out.
So I'm still getting motion sickness. I have a whole different kind of sickness going on. But I do want to point out, I literally, we've been recording for not quite an hour, and I still have motion sickness from the 355. Just saying.
Wow,
that's rough.
Now,
it's a terrible feeling.
No,
it really
I can feel it. I can feel exactly where in my head it is.
Was it worse than that one scene in? I'm drawing a blank on the movie. Cloverfield.
Okay.
Where the kid with the camera is like looking up the alley at the monsters, and then down the alley at the military, and then back up at the monsters, and then back and he kept doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, stop! Oh my God, you got to stop doing that.
So here's what it was like. I don't think it was as bad as that specific scene. And no matter what example you were going to come up with, I was formulating in my head, okay, whatever Luke comes up with, the point is, this wasn't necessarily as bad as a particular scene in any given movie. It was just constant throughout. However, Cloverfield might actually be the one example where something being constant throughout might be relevant because the guy was filming it on a Handycam.
It was
Blair Witch Project being another one.
It was.
But even then, Cloverfield, they did that cleverly because there were scenes where it was still moderately still, or you had people that were so close to the camera that you didn't have a hard time tracking them. With this, it was like you'd have a scene and there'd be two characters talking, you'd be looking at them, but you'd constantly have to be doing all these micro adjustments with your eyes throughout the entire scene. And I think it was just the duration that it lasted. Right. Now the action scenes were especially bad. Not quite the whipping around like that, but it was very much like somebody throws a kick and there's a cut. Somebody throws a punch and there's a cut. There's none of this John Wick where it's thoroughly choreographed and all one shot, one take. No, it's like, I'm throwing a punch and there's a cut and now there's a different angle and the punch goes a little further and there's a cut and there's a different angle and now the punch is closer to the guy's face. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was rough. It was rough. It was really hard to do the eye tracking. Yeah.
Well, that just brings us to the end of the episode. Tim's got an orgy to get to, and Eric, take us out.
This is supposed to be like a PG rated podcast, right? I mean, I'd really rather you not.
He's not.
But hey, it's not like it's swearing. But yeah, maybe not end on that visual. But yeah. So anyhow, we're gonna go now. So thank you for hanging out with us. So let us know in the comments what you thought about the different things that we've talked about tonight. Anything that you're planning to see, anything you have seen and maybe agree or disagree with us. Let us know. Go to randomchatter.com/YouTube, hit the subscribe and like button, and down below in the comments, let us know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to hit the notification button as well. We go live typically Sunday nights at about 8 p.m. Eastern time. And Tuesday nights, we do movie chatter and maybe something else coming pretty soon too. That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. We still have to talk to Robin about what we're going to cover, Lou. I was thinking, hey, the 355 would be great to cover. And then, no, not because I refuse to do a rewatch. And if I do, I'm literally going to buy Dramamine first. But anyway, Tuesday nights and Sunday nights. And don't forget to check out randomchatter.com. We've got a lot of good shows on the network there. If you put a / at the end of that, you can get to different things like /Discord for the Discord server, /store to pick up t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff now that some people are getting snow. Not down here in the south, but that's okay. Even if you're not getting snow, it's getting kind of cold. So pick up a hoodie and a t-shirt, and then you get to help support the network as well, and then everybody's happy. And we like it when everybody's happy. So on that happy note, we will see you again in a few days for Movie Chatter, and until then, take care.